Hello, everyone, and welcome to Unapologetically Keto. My name is Ralph Peterson, and this is the show where we stop apologizing, we stop making excuses for ourselves, and we live our lives guilt-free. And not only am I unapologetically keto, I am unapologetically on a Zepbound, on a GLP-1. I am unapologetically thinking about what I eat. I'm unapologetically watching what I weigh. I'm unapologetically choosing where I go to eat, where I go to hang out, and what I put myself around and who I hang out with. I'm unapologetically putting me and my health first. This is the Unapologetically Keto show because most of all, I'm unapologetically keto. So just to lay the groundwork, I know that I have experienced an awful lot of pressure, influence from people who want to have me enjoy the cake too. They want to, oh, you got to try this. Oh, this is amazing. You've got to try that. This is the best of this in the whole world. And I'm constantly finding myself apologizing, saying, thank you. I appreciate that. But not for me. And for the longest time, and I still combat it, I feel guilty about not participating. I feel guilty for saying, I'm not going to try one of your homemade cookies. But I'll tell you what I wouldn't feel guilty about. I wouldn't feel guilty about saying no thank you to your Marlboro, right? Like, I wouldn't feel guilty to say no thank you for your alcohol. Although alcohol was another tough one for me too. That was all of my friends were beside themselves when I quit drinking. They're all like, you can't just have a beer with me. And that's kind of how my friends are with me with food. They're like, what do you mean you stopped having pizza? You don't have pizza anymore? And I'm like, no, I don't have pizza. What do you mean you don't have a blueberry pie, or you don't want to try this ice cream? You don't want to go for a froyo? And I'm like, no thanks. I mean, I'll tag along, but I'm not going to eat it. And then why not? Why don't you live your life? You got to take these pleasures and things. And all the things that people say, I'm done apologizing for them. I invite you to consider to stop apologizing for them. Because quite honestly, when it comes down to it, it's just you. It's just me. I'm the one making the decisions. I'm the one choosing what's on my plate or what's not on my plate. I'm the one who has to deal with the consequences of what is on that plate of mine. And I'm the one who is going to be ultimately held responsible. And so I'm done apologizing. You too should be done apologizing. And not only that, but I also want to say right from the get-go here, I just got back from a long road trip, 4 hours in the car, 4.5 hours, 4 hours, 15 minutes. I stopped to use the bathroom once. It was a long road trip, but worth it. All I kept thinking about was you. All I kept thinking about was coming here, getting to the studio so I could do this show. All I want to do is this show. It's so fun. It's so fascinating. I'm reading so many things. But I also want to just remind you that fat shaming is a real thing. And people have opinions about all kinds of things, and they're judgmental about all kinds of things, and there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. And people are just simply going to judge. And we just got to let that not be the influence about taking our health in our own hands. More specifically, I'm talking about GLP-1 use. I'm talking about tirzepatide, Zepbound, Ozempic. There has been a huge stigma against Ozempic, Zepbound, all of these GLP-1 uses. And I'm not suggesting that it's for everybody. I'm not suggesting that you run out and get one. But I am suggesting that you understand that there's real science, real medical science behind the understanding of GLP-1, how it impacts the body, and what it does as a hormone replacement. And so you would start to understand, if you understand that, you start to understand that taking a GLP-1 or needing, this is the thing, needing a GLP-1 is no different than needing eyeglasses. It's no different. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. It really is nothing to be embarrassed about. And in fact, my buddy Devin and I reading The Hunger Code by Jason Fung right now. And I just want to read something for you because one of the biggest things that I've been taught my whole life, every time I talk to anybody, my whole life about my weight issues and how I'm trying to get, to get thin or get control of my weight, everyone has always said the same thing. You have to eat less and you have to move more. I actually had God, what was his rank? He was in the Navy. When I was in the Marine Corps, he was I can't think of his rank right now, but he was a staff NCO in the Navy. Real skinny guy, real skinny. And he had this quart, 4-quart container, Tupperware container full of pasta. It was like a pasta salad, like a 4-quart container of pasta salad. And he ate the entire 4 quarts while telling me, you know what you need to do, Ralph? You need to eat like me. And I'm sitting there going, okay, look, if I do eat like you, by the way. And it's not serving me at all. I'm a fat SOB over here. All right, Dr. Fung, this is The Hunger Code. This is his new book, and he's talking about the myth of eat less, move more. And he says, if you are overweight or obese, only 1 in 37 people, or 2.7%, ever achieve a normal body mass index, a BMI, the standard measurement of obesity. That is 97.3% fail. 97.3% of people fail at dieting, fail at the eat less, move more dieting. And I was making this point earlier today. If I was a school teacher and I had 100 students and 97.3% of my students failed, would you think it was all the students because they were undisciplined, they didn't do their homework? Really? Or would you think, you know what, Ralph is not a good teacher? You'd probably think Ralph is not a good teacher. And quite honestly, I'd agree with you. In the news, this is him saying, and the news gets worse. If you are one of the estimated 42% of Americans who is classified as obese with a body mass index of over 30, by the way, I was obese 8 months ago. So August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 7 months ago. 7 months ago, I had a BMI of 35. I have it in front of me. Hold on. I had a BMI of 34.4. Obese. 34. And not my first time. I've been obese a bunch of times. And the news gets worse. Again, Jason Fung. If you are one of the estimated 42% of Americans who is classified as obese with a body mass index of over 30, then your rate of success plummeted to 0.65. The failure rate is 99.35%. Shut the front door, as the kids like to say. And the news gets worse still because of relapse. Even if you get to a normal body mass index, and I have reached the pinnacle of a normal body mass index a couple of times, it does little good if you don't stay there. A whopping 43% of people don't maintain that healthy weight over 3 years, which means the true success rate for eating fewer calories is about 0.3%. That is a 99.6.3% failure rate. All that simply means is the parlance of our time, eat less and move more, is wrong, is misguided at best. It is a hormone problem, not a will problem, not a discipline problem. You are not undisciplined. You are not broken. I mean, you are not lazy. You are not a fat, lazy SOB. You have a hormone break. There is some hormones in your body that are not responding as they should and as they did previously, earlier in your life. And it's mostly due to environmental factors, the food we have consumed, the things that we have done to ourselves over time. That is what caused the GLP-1 to become less effective and the GIP to become less effective and the ghrelin noise to increase and the lectin noise to decrease. And everything I'm mentioning are hormones. And these hormones are literally working against you. They're working against you. You know what's super interesting? I just started to share unapologetically, I'm tongue-tied, Unapologetically Keto on TikTok. And my third video that I posted on TikTok, and if anybody's here from TikTok, holla, how are you doing? It's nice to see you. My third video went viral, and I wasn't sure how many people need to see a video in order for it to go viral, but I think I have something like 270,000 views. Here, I'll pull it up here just to see. All right, hold on. So the video got, all right, I got 280, if you've seen this video, I got 285,800 views on this video. And what is so fascinating to me is, first of all, it was exciting going, oh my God, look how many people are seeing my video, looking at this mug. But what is really fascinating to me is the 1,488 comments. There are 1,488 comments. Now, let me tell you first and foremost, if you haven't seen the video, what the video is about. It's a very quick video. It's 40 seconds long, and it's me talking about Theo Von, talking to Kevin James. Theo Von is a comedian. Kevin James is an actor and a comedian. And Theo Von is telling Kevin James that he never thinks about food. He can take it or leave it. He has zero food noise. And the video is me going, wow, is that interesting? Because I have my whole life, I can't remember a time ever in my life not thinking about food. And not only just not dwelling on food, but thinking about what yummy thing I'm going to have for breakfast, what yummy thing I'm going to have for lunch, what yummy thing I'm going to have for dinner. Any kind of food would catch my eye. I'd be like, oh my God, that looks amazing. Let me try that. Oh my God. Every event was around food. Every gathering was around food. Hey, how are you? Let's get together. Meant, hey, let's go get some food. Every celebration, every casual meeting, every business meeting, every hello, every television, every time I sit down to watch television, I'm snacking. Food has just been this constant thing in my mind, in my body or in my mouth. And here this guy is, Theo Von, thin guy. And he's like, I just don't really care that much about food. I don't give it any thought. There are 1,400 comments on this video. And I'm going to go out on a limb. I didn't do any math, and I probably didn't see every comment, but I saw most of them because they were really fascinating. And I'm sitting here I'm like, oh my God, it's like a research project. Of those 1,400 comments, I guarantee, and again, I'm going on a limb here because I didn't do the actual math, at least 85%, if not 90% of the comments said, yeah, me too. Me too. I never think about food. Matter of fact, I'd rather just take I wish I could, Jetson this. Remember the cartoon, The Jetsons, where the food was a pill? You went up and Rosie the robot would give you a little tray and it would just be your pill. Here's your breakfast. It was just a pill. Whoop. That's the old Jetsons cartoon when I was a kid. There were people literally making that reference in the comments going, I remember the Jetsons. I wish I could just take a pill and be done with it. Food is just so overrated. And I'll be honest with you, because there is this phenomenon. I'm going to call it a phenomenon. It's probably just embarrassment. But there's a phenomenon with heavy people. I know this from experience because, as you know, I used to weigh 350 pounds. I've been heavy. Oh, yes, I've been heavy. Bunches of times. Somebody asked me today, how long did it take you to lose the weight? I go, which time? Like, yo. But the idea that there's so many people who don't think about food, I never eat, is literally what I always said when I weighed 350 pounds, when I weighed 340 pounds, when I weighed 330, 320, 300, 280, 270, 290. Every time, like somebody would be like, you're getting big there. And I would always say the same thing. I would say, I don't even know why. I mean, I barely ever eat. It must be, something in the water over here because I never eat. And so when I start reading these comments, and they're all the same. Let me just go through a couple with you just so you can get the stop.
And what you're going to hear is
well, if I could turn back time, I'd learn how to use TikTok. Okay. Here we go. Comments. It's not the comment section. All right. So there's also, I will also say this. The other 10 or 15% of the comments in here are genuine, honest, like, not that they're not all honest, but they're like, here's somebody says, I'm not embarrassed. I eat enough for Theo and myself and for Kevin James too. And somebody else says, I was at rock bottom when I started carnivore. I tried everything under the sun with the varying degree of success, and I was embarrassed to even mention it, right? Like, but then those are the rare comments. Most of them are like, where are all my comments? I don't know how to see all my comments. Well, I guess you're just going to have to trust me. All the comments are like, me too. I never think about food. I wish I didn't have to think about food. I wish I didn't have to eat. I wish I could take a pill. And at first I was kind of like, you know what? I used to say that too all the time. I used to say that too. But now I'm on this GLP-1 and I get it. And I never think about food. I think about food in a healthy sense. It's not that I never I don't forget to eat, but I think about food in a healthy sense. It's measured. When I eat, I'm not hungry, but I've decided what time I'm eating and how much I'm going to eat and what time of the day. By the way, I've decided I'm changing that all around. I get a little crazy when I hear like a good idea or something. I jump all in on it, and then if it stalls or doesn't start to work for me, I get all panicky and I'm like, what did I do wrong? And then I hear some other idea, so I jump in on that one and I jump in on, that's why I've tried 18,000 diets, because as soon as one diet starts to stall, I start to panic, start thinking I'm doing it wrong, and it's madness. It's madness. But with the GLP-1, I'm not being led by food for the first time. And now I'm able to read these comments and go, whoa, look at how many lucky people there have been in the world. These people, this is like getting born with a great face. This is like getting born with a great head of hair. You're born with the right hormones that work properly and keep you naturally from overeating. I'm jealous. It's amazing. That is amazing. It's like somebody being born with perfect eyes. They don't need glasses. I need. It's really, really fascinating. And it's really something to see. I'm so happy that I did decide to start uploading on TikTok. By the way, it's the THE Ralph Peterson, RALPHPETERSON on TikTok. So at the Ralph Peterson on TikTok. If you want to go over there and join me, I'd love to have you over there as well as over here. And I have a couple of things I want to talk about. I'm sorry about getting on here a little late. Like I said, I was traveling, and there's a couple of things I want to talk about that I want to make sure that I talk about. One is Dr. Boz yesterday. As you know, I am a huge Dr. Boz fan. She has changed my life. She has, I think, she's probably saved my life at this point. She is the one who introduced me to the keto diet. She is the one who taught me exactly how to get into a state of ketosis. And she continues to train me and all of her followers, which are in the millions at this point, on her YouTube channel. So if you get a second, go to Dr. Boz, look up Dr. Boz on YouTube, and make sure you tune in every Tuesday at 4 p.m. to watch the Dr. Boz show. She is an amazing educator, and she does a really, really great job about breaking down the general, the real high-end science to a general basic level for somebody like me, a little knuckle dragger over here, can understand. And so I cannot recommend Dr. Boz's channel enough. And yesterday, I kind of feel like she has maybe been listening to me. Maybe in the ethos I've been permeating, getting through to her in some way. And she decided to address me without actually addressing me, because let me just explain what I've been doing. Since I stopped fasting, and I fasted for 72 hours a week it was a lovely show yesterday. I've been fasting for 72 hours a week, every week for 23 weeks. And then I stopped doing it. I was like, okay, that's good. Now let me see if I can continue with keto without the extreme fasting. 72 hours a week for 23 weeks is kind of extreme. And I want to just kind of take a little bit of break from that. And so I'm eating one meal a day, and I'm eating that meal with my wife. So we're eating it late, 5 to 6. Sometimes it's 6:30. Sometimes, goodness gracious, it gets to 7. It's a crazy thing. I know I don't want to eat that late, but it just, when you're pushing the envelope, it just sometimes gets that late. So my idea is just eating just that one meal. And Dr. Boz is constantly saying, you've got to eat that meal closer to sunrise. If you're going to eat one meal a day, then you eat it closer to sunrise. You stop having food after 3 p.m. And she'll even say that if you're hungry after 3 p.m., take your blood, take your finger stick. By the way, I don't have my iPad with me. I would show you my blood and my ketones and glucose, but my iPad's upstairs. I just literally dropped my bags, ran down in my studio here to come on live. So she says that you have to eat, if you're hungry after 3 p.m., check your glucose numbers. If your glucose is over 100, you're not eating, right? And ideally, she wants you to be done eating by 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, maybe at the latest. She wants you completely done with food. And then she wants you to check your blood, your ketones and your glucose when you wake up in the morning. She calls it T on T, test on toilet, right? So as soon as you get up, check those glucose and those ketone numbers. Well, I've been playing a little bit of a game, as some of you know who've been following me. And that game is that I check my blood, my glucose and my ketone levels way after, in the afternoon. I don't do it first thing in the morning, because the way that I was figuring it is that Dr. Boz is saying, all right, if you stop eating at 2 and you wake up at 6 and text your blood, that's 18 hours, right? So that's 18 hours without food. So your glucose levels are going to be lower because you've been 18 hours without food. Your ketone levels are going to be higher because you've been without 18 hours without food. So I was like, well, if I'm eating later, I'm still only eating one meal. It's simply one meal. So it's not like I'm dragging this out. But if I'm eating one meal, but I get done eating at 6, well, then I'm going to do 18 hours from the 6. So instead of testing my blood at 6 a.m., I'm going to test it at 2 p.m. So 6 p.m., 7, right? So 18, 20 hours later is when I'm going to check my blood. And I reasoned that was fair, that was a fair adjustment, that I wasn't cheating. I was literally doing the same thing that she was doing. I was using the same time frame. But then yesterday on her show, she didn't say Ralph, but I know she was saying Ralph. She was like, Ralph, listen, there's something that happens when you sleep. Your body repairs itself differently when you sleep. which is why we test on the toilet, which is why we test when we first wake up in the morning, because I'm not interested in your afternoon ketones or your afternoon glucose levels. Of course, they're going to be better. I'm interested in your morning metabolism. How did your sleep help? What did your sleep do? What did your body do during sleep to repair itself? So, you can go ahead and keep testing your blood, your ketones and glucose in the afternoon all you want, but it's not telling me what I want to know. What I want to know is, how did your sleep impact your glucose and your ketone numbers? And I'm like, serenity now, Dr. Boz. Every time I think I'm on the right track, I way off the track. It's funny too, because she was saying like people have like carb creep, and I've talked about carb creep on this podcast before. Carb creep is a real thing, and you don't even know it's happening, but then a little bit of tomato sauce will enter your life, or some coleslaw, or you know what I mean, like these little carbs will just float their way into your food, and if you're not careful, holy moly. So she was also talking about this gentleman who has Parkinson's disease, or either he's getting over it or he's just in it. I'm not sure. I think he's kind of recovering maybe from Parkinson's disease. And she was saying that she was showing his numbers, that his numbers tanked. He went from, a robust 1+ in ketones to the floor, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. By the way, again, she's talking about this other guy, but she might also be saying Ralph, because my ketones have dropped to the floor. My ketones have gone I can't get a 0.5 right now. I ketones are crap. And I know that I am suffering from a little carb creep. Little itty bitty pieces of carbs have been making their way. Nothing major. I'm not talking like anything over 20 grams of carbs. I'm not talking about like bread or, something like that. But I just noticed that there is a little carb creep. So, and I might not always be doing the best job of measuring, even though I try to be mindful of what I'm eating, because I am trying to track everything. There could be, maybe I'm rating it at 18 carbs and maybe it's 25, right? That's reasonable. So I do suspect that carb creep has been part of my problem. But she said that the way that she got him, and then she showed his ketones after she told him what to do. She showed his ketones and his glucose. His glucose was 83 and below, really stable. And his ketones were all above 1, really stable for like weeks. And I'm like, I want that back. I was there. What do I have to do, Dr. Boz? Anything. Tell me what I have to do. I'll do it. I will do anything to be metabolically healthy. I will do anything to cure all of these problems that are ailing me. So she said that she had him redo the sardine challenge, but modified. It's a modified sardine challenge. Instead of doing a 3-day sardine challenge, she put him on an everyday sardine type of challenge. And here's the thing. She says she wants to have him eat 2 cans of sardines. 2 cans of sardines. That's going to be his first, No, I got it wrong. He's going to have his meal, and I guess he has his first meal around 11 or 12 in the 11 in the morning, 12 in the afternoon. He has his first meal, his first bolus of food. And he eats just whatever he wants to eat, that keto meal, under 20 grams of carbs. And then for his second meal, she wants him to eat twice a day. I'm only eating once a day, by the way. She wants him to eat twice a day within a 4-hour window. And in that window, first to eat whatever he wants, whatever that first bolus of food is. And then the second meal, she wants him to have 2 cans of sardines, adding MCT oil to the cans of sardines. So like 1 tablespoon of MCT oil per sardine can. And then so his last meal of the day is going to be 2 cans of sardines. And ever since he has done that, his glucose has stayed at 83 and below, and his ketones have stayed above 1. Very interesting. So you're saying that by the way, I'm not going to do it the way Dr. Boz is asking or having this guy do it because, again, I'm trying to make a concession with my wife. I only have one meal a day with her, and that's dinner, and I'm trying my best to accommodate both worlds. I'm trying to accommodate what's best for me, and I'm trying to accommodate what makes her happy as well. And so I want to be mindful of that. And so this is what I'm going to try. I'm going to do this for 30 days. I'm going to give it 30 days. And let's just see what happens. I'm going to actually start having 2 meals a day. I'm going to go from eating 1 meal a day, which I've been doing. I've been having 1 meal a day since September. I've been only having 1 meal a day. I mean, rare that I would have 2 meals a day. It happened a couple times, but rare, really. I'm going to start tomorrow. I couldn't start today because I was traveling, but I'm going to start tomorrow, and I'm going to do the best I can. Instead of ending with sardines, I'm going to start with sardines. I'm going to start with sardines. I'm going to have 2 cans of sardines with 2 tablespoons of MCT8 oil, MCT8, and I'm going to have this around 2 p.m. with the goal of having dinner with my wife at 6 p.m. And I know, first and foremost, having 2 cans of sardines plus the MCT8 oil is going to make it so that I'm not going to want to eat at 6 p.m. And that's good for me because that'll reduce the amount of food that I put in my stomach at 6 p.m. It'll also help me modify what I'm going to actually eat on my plate because my wife loves, God bless her, but my wife loves to church up food. Everything has to be churched up. And that churching up often, if not always, includes carbohydrates of some kind. Either it's in liquid form in a sauce or a pairing or a vegetable. There always has to be a pairing, a churching up. And for me, I don't need a churching up, but carb creep is real. And I sometimes, find myself carb creeping. And so I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm committing to 2 cans of sardines a day plus MCT8 oil for 30 days. And I'm going to do it in real time. I'm going to show you my numbers as we go along. So make sure you're tuning in every week, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. to see this live. And finally, the last thing I want to talk about, I'm going to cut this a little bit short tonight just because I just got in, haven't seen my wife in a couple of days. I want to go up and visit with her and all that. So somebody sent me, a friend of mine sent me a podcast today or yesterday. And this podcast, let me just pull it up. I want to get this guy's name right. His name is Thomas.
Is it dangerous for somebody to be on a statin?
Hold on.
The worst mistake.
No, wait. Thomas. Dr. Tom Cohen. Dr. Tom Cohen. Now, I listened to Dr. Tom Cohen. He was on the Primal podcast. So Dr. Cohen on Primal podcast. Fascinating. And I'm going to do a deep dive into Dr. Thomas Cohen next week. I'm going to do a deep dive into what he is talking about. I'm going to do more research on what he's talking about. But he has such an interesting and fascinating take on the heart, on energy, on cholesterol, on plaque buildup. I mean, my mind is just like, and let's be honest, I want him to be right. Let me also state now that what he is saying is that cholesterol is not bad. What he is saying is that plaque buildup is not bad. He's saying that cholesterol doesn't cause heart attacks. He's saying that plaque buildup does not cause heart attacks. And blockage actually doesn't cause heart attacks. And I don't know if he's right, but I really want him to be right. It's the best news I've heard since I got my calcium score. I got my calcium score test, and remember, 0 to 100 is low calcium, 100 to 200 is moderate calcium, and 300 to 400 is high calcium, meaning the buildup in your arteries, the hardened calcium built up in your arteries. If it's at 400 or more, it's a lot. They consider that high. And I'm over 1,300. 1,300. So I'm nervous. I'm scared, quite honestly. That makes, I've been panicking for weeks now. I've been having no good sleep over it. I've been stressing over it. I gave up coffee because I'm so nervous about what I'm putting into my system. I don't want to exacerbate. And I really want to have a coffee, by the way. I really do. I'm probably going to have one tomorrow. I think tomorrow's the day. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to enjoy a cup of coffee. Because I like coffee and I want to have a coffee. It hasn't done anything for me, by the way. I gave up coffee. I thought my sleep would be better, all the things. No, my sleep is just as terrible. I don't know. Listen to this concept and you tell me if this sounds reasonable to you, because it sounds really reasonable to me. So, and again, I want to believe it, so maybe I'm being a little askew. He says that calcium deposits inside your artery are what did he call it? He called it it's like a Band-Aid. If you cut your arm on the outside and it bleeds, what are you going to do? You're going to put a Band-Aid over it. And then what is your body going to do? Your body is going to start healing it by putting a little scab over it to protect it and then heal it from the outside in, right? It's going to actually heal that cut on your arm. Well, what if, because of all the years of smoking cigarettes, I smoked cigarettes for 15 years. I was a 2-pack-a-day smoker up until I was 30 years old. I drank alcohol excessively, like a 10-year alcoholic, like every day, 7 days a week, way more than I should ever have drank. I did that for 10 years to myself. I was going through a lot. I was super depressed, not dealing with a lot. Had to leave the Marine Corps against my will, and it really broke my heart, and I had to struggle with that. And then eating, I just went from addicted to cigarettes to addicted to drinking to addicted to food. And I mean, I would just pile in the food, and not good food. I mean, all the things, the pizza, the Chinese, the chicken, the KFC, the tacos. I mean, you name the decadence, the cakes, the pastries, the cereals. I mean, you name the decadent food, I consumed it in mass, eating 6, 8, 10 times a day, all the time, for years. As a result of all of this behavior on my end, what happened was my artery walls started to get damaged from all the inflammation. And that damage weakened the cell wall. And those cells, my body had only one choice. It had two choices. It could let the cell wall burst open and let me die, or it could try to repair my cell walls, and it did it from the inside of my arteries. So the plaque is therapy. It's a Band-Aid. It is needed to re-strengthen my cell walls. And so that number, that CAC, that calcium score of 1,300, which sounds terrible, is terrible. I'm not denying I earned all 1,300 calcium deposits. I earned them all. And maybe, just maybe, they are simply what my body used to repair my arteries. It's a repair. It's therapy. It's a Band-Aid for the inside of my arteries so that my arteries didn't break open. That's fascinating to me. That makes sense to me. And here's the other thing that he says. And again, I'm going to do a whole deep dive on him next week because I am super interested. Because he said he went into so many things that I gotta put it down, all the other things that I'm working on, and just go deep into Dr. Cohen. Is it Cohen? Cohen? Dr. Cohen, I got it right. Dr. Cohen, Tom Cohen, Dr. Cowan, on the Primal podcast. That Primal podcast, she does a great job, by the way. The Primal podcast is really, really well done. It's all about primal eating, keto, carnivore. She's really, really smart. She has amazing guests on. I would give her a look too. I would really recommend checking her out as well. But here's the other thing he says. He says that even when there's blockage in the artery, calcium deposits, what they're failing to tell you is that, and this, by the way, this is what I don't understand. This is one of the things that I feel like I should be symptomatic. You have 1,300, whatever that is, deposits, calcium deposits in your arteries. I feel like then that means I should be fatigued. I should have no energy. I should be like winded walking up a flight of stairs. But I'm not. I'm running. I'm exercising. I'm talking. I talk for 8 hours for a living. I talk for a living. And I talk like this. I'm engaging. I'm giving real effort in projecting my voice to an audience. I do this all day. I'm not tired. I don't get tired. I don't take naps. I'm not winded. I can run for hours. So what does this blockage mean? Does it mean anything? Does it mean anything? I don't know. He says that even though you're showing the arteries itself that they have blockage in it, what they're not showing is there are other branches, other Marine Corps, arterial branches that are making up for the blood flow. So even though my body had to take up some room on the inside of my arteries with the calcium deposit to make sure that my arteries don't burst open because I did a little damage there, there are the arterial branches that are making up for the flow, meaning there is no stricture. There is no reduction of blood flow through my heart and through my body. Isn't that fascinating? Is it true? I don't know. He swears by it. He's a medical doctor, or at least that's what they're calling him, doctor. He says he was a doctor. I don't know. I haven't seen his credentials. I'll look. I'll check it out. I'm going to research him. I want to know. I really want to know. And then here's this other, I'm going to leave you with this one final thing that's really intriguing to me with this guy, Dr. Cohen. He says, how come you don't have a spleen attack or a stomach attack or a kidney attack or a liver attack or a foot attack? Are you suggesting that only your heart, is it different blood that is pumping through your heart than what is pumping through your foot or pumping through your leg or pumping through your pancreas or pumping through your liver? Or is it all the same blood? Oh, it is all the same blood? Oh, okay. And so the same blood has the same cholesterol numbers and the same ApoB numbers and the same nutrient numbers and oxygen numbers. So how come you're not having a foot attack? Why only does plaque buildup affect the heart and the brain? If it's a plaque buildup in the brain, it's a stroke. If it's at the heart, it's a heart attack. But miraculously, there's no finger attack. There's no how come the calcium buildup in the artery to my finger doesn't all of a sudden, my finger no longer gets oxygen or no longer gets blood? Why isn't there no finger attacks or foot attacks or pancreas attacks? Maybe we're looking at it wrong. Maybe we're asking the wrong questions. Maybe Dr. Cohen is onto something. I don't know, but I'm going to tell you, tune in next week because I am going deep. I want to know everything I can find out about Dr. Cohen and his theories and how he's come up with them because I want them to be true. I think they sound reasonable to me. You tell me, does it sound reasonable to you? Sounds reasonable to me. I think it sounds really reasonable. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, if you're interested in learning more about my diet journey so far, pick up the book, Adventures in Dietland, How to Win the Game of Dieting from a Former Fat Guy. There are a bunch of ways to get this book. You can get it as an Audible book on audible.com. You can get it at barnesandnoble.com. You can get it on amazon.com. If you're one of those special people, and I know you're out there, if you would like an autographed copy directly from me, then go to my website, ralphpeterson.com. Go to the books tab, go to health and wellness, and you'll find all of my books there, to include my children's book, There's a Monster in My Bed, which I absolutely love this book. We have a new children's book coming out really soon. I'm so excited. I can't wait to tell you about it. But make sure you check out all the books, especially if you want to hear about my story when I first lost my first 150-pound weight loss. That's what this story is about, my first 150-pound weight loss, doing Weight Watchers. I did it during Weight Watchers. Now I'm knee deep in keto, and I got to tell you, keto, carnivore, the best thing I've ever found, makes the most sense for me. If you have any questions about what it takes to go keto, go carnivore, leave a comment, ask your questions, send me an email, ralph@ralphpeterson.com. I would love to talk you through it. I'd love to walk you through it. And of course, if you would like to be a guest on my show and to share your story, you would be helping so many people if you've had some success, or even if you want to just talk about your struggles about dieting and weight loss, and you have questions about trizepatide or GLP-1s or Zepbound more specifically. In my experience on it, I'm an open book. There is no shame, there's no embarrassment, and there is absolutely no reason to apologize for taking care of you. That's it. I'll see you guys later. Take care.